Hi, boys and girls. We're in Mrs. Becker's kitchen again today because we are going to be doing some baking. Now, I'm not going to tell you what we're going to make, but I will tell you this. It fits in to our study of brown, and it is something to eat. And maybe as we go through this, you can guess what we are making. Now, remember, when we bake, we use lots of things that we're learning at preschool. We have to follow a recipe, and that means we have to be able to read words. So we have to know our letters and our sounds. And we have to read numbers because there are certain amounts of things that we put in our recipe, and that's where the numbers come in. It also tells us how high to set our oven and all those kinds of things too, which is numbers. And then as we go through everything today, it's a little bit of science too. So we have a lot to do when we're baking. So the first thing Mrs. Becker always does when she's baking is she washes her hands. I'm going to wash my hands. I'll be off camera here, but you can hear my water running. And I'm going to wash my hands really, really, really well. And then we'll get started. All right, so now my hands are washed, and my recipe called for 2 bowls. So I have a big bowl and a smaller bowl. It's not a little bowl, but I do have 2 different sizes of bowls here. And my recipe says in a large bowl, stir together flour. So I want you to see the flour because I already measured everything out. I needed 1 3/4 cups of flour. So to do that, I had to use my measuring cups, okay? And I measured it out. And you see what flour looks like? It's a powder, isn't it? So I'm going to put that in my big bowl. Oh, and I better do it carefully so I don't get it all over myself or the counter, right? So I just put that in there. So I did that. And then it says, oh, stir in some sugar. Look, the sugar, it's kind of powdery too, isn't it? And I needed 1 1/2 cups of that. So I'm going to put that in with the flour. Okay, all right. So we have that. So we have our 2 powdery things mixed together here, don't we? And then it says, oh, I have to put some baking soda. Now I haven't measured that out, but baking soda comes in a container that looks something like this. There might be a different kind too, but that's what baking soda is. And it says I need 1 teaspoon of baking soda. So I've got a little spoon. It's 1 teaspoon. And put that in here. Measure it out. Okay, there's my 1 teaspoon. It's a powder too. And put it in here. Okay, so now I took care of that part. Then it says that I need to have some salt. Okay, so let me find my salt because I did forget to get that out before. Here's my salt. All right, and it says that I need to have a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So I'm just going to put a little bit in here. Okay, you see my salt? And I'll put that in here. All right, so I got that in. And now I am supposed to just stir this. Okay, so I'm going to do this carefully because, again, I don't want it all over the place. Right? You see me stirring there? I know. And I tilt it. And guess what? All of those things were powdery. And when I mix them together, it's just one big bowl of powdery stuff. Okay, so that was the big bowl. I'm going to stir just a little bit more. Okay. Now it says in another bowl, I'm going to have some eggs, and it says 2 eggs. So I'm going to get my eggs out. Because they are in my refrigerator, aren't they? And I've got 1 egg here, and I'm going to crack that egg into a bowl. I'll let you watch me do that here. Okay, so I cracked it. There's 1. Okay, and I need 1 more. All right, let me do the second one. Okay, watch me put it in here. Oh, Goodness, what are eggs like? Are they all powdery? No, you've got something that's um, the yellow part there is really kind of what we'd call a solid, and then there's like a liquidy part. But it says to put those 2 eggs in that second bowl, so I'll do that. And then it says that I need to put mashed bananas in there, and I need to use 2 bananas. Now, I already did this. I've already mashed my bananas. What do they look like when they're all mashed? What do you think? They're not really powdery, are they? They're a little bit more like a liquid, but there's some solid stuff in there. All right, let me put them in with the eggs. Oh my goodness. So I dump that in there. Okay, next it says I have to put some oil in. Well, and I already measured it out. It was a 1/2 cup of vegetable oil. Do you see? This is a special liquid measuring cup. All right, I'm going to dump that in. Okay. And then I have to put some buttermilk in. All right, and I already have that all here. And so this is my buttermilk. And I actually didn't have any buttermilk, so I put some milk. And then if you add lemon juice or vinegar, it makes the buttermilk. And that's what Mrs. Becker did. So let me dump that in and look at this. This is all a liquid, isn't it? So I have all the powdery stuff here. Liquidy stuff is over here, isn't it? Okay. And then the last thing it says is to add some vanilla. So I have my little vanilla here. And it says that I need a teaspoon of vanilla. So I'm going to use this spoon, this measuring spoon. It's a teaspoon. I'm going to put this on the spoon and then dump it in. Okay. All right. So we have all of that together. And then next, I have to mix these up, don't I? So I'm going to mix. And this is a little bit more fun because you move things around, don't you? Look at that. Hard to see. You see that? Ooh. When I'm finished mixing them, I will show you what it looks like, okay? It takes a little bit more mixing than the other one did. All right. We'll keep going, Mrs. Becker. Okay. I think that's pretty good. So I'm going to do this and show you what it looks like, okay? And bring this over. See that? This is the eggs and the oil and the banana, all of that mixed. And then again, here is what all of those powdery things look like. They still just look like powdery flour and sugar and baking soda and salt. Okay. All right. So those are those 2 different kinds of things mixed together. Right. Then on my recipe, it says that I need to dump the liquid stuff, the eggs and the bananas and everything into the other bowl. Ooh, look at that. Ooh. All right. So I'm dumping them in. And then guess what I have to do? I have to stir. All right. So we can do that too, can't we? So we're going to stir. So this is going to take a little bit more stirring action here. Okay. See how that, ooh, what's happening when I'm stirring the powdery stuff with all the liquid stuff? What's happening? All right, I'm going to put it down like this so I can really stir. All right, that's really important. I'm going to get everything off the side. I'll stir some more. And when I'm done, I'll show you what it looks like. You see? Oh my goodness. All right. You see that? I think that's pretty good. I'm going to put it up here, get my camera again, so you can see it a little bit better. See what it looks like now? So the powder mixed with the liquid, you get something that's a little liquidy too, don't you? You do. Not completely, but it's something more liquid than just powder, right? Okay, then I could put some nuts in, and this is kind of fun. I have a special chopper here, and I've already put some nuts in here. So I'm going to really and then if I look, I can see they're pretty chopped up. Can you see that? So I'm going to take this off, and then I'm going to put these nuts in here. Ooh, that's kind of fun too. I have to get all of them, so I have to use a couple of spatulas. Get as many as I can, nice and chopped. Okay, and then guess what I need to do? Stir. We'll get those nuts all stirred in. So first of all, what color does this kind of look like to you? Can you tell? And have you guessed what we're making yet? All right. Then it says that I have to take my mixture. That's what you call all of this stuff put together because we've mixed it. It's our mixture and we're going to put it in this pan. But before I do that, I always grease it. So I've got a little bit of Crisco oil here. You see that? And I'm going to put that, or just Crisco. Just going to put that around the bottom and a little bit around the sides, just a little bit. You don't have to have a whole bunch in there. I kind of do like this. All right, now the fun part. I get to dump the mixture in. All right, and my bowl has a special little pouring side here. So I'll make sure it comes out that side, okay? All right, get it all out. And it's coming. Do you get to do this at home too? And I'll show you in a minute how I'm taking everything out that I can possibly take out, I think. All right, do you see how that's pretty clean? All right, and then to make sure I've used as much as possible off my spatula, let me get a knife. Just make sure that I have everything off that I can. Oh my goodness. All right. And the nice thing is, once we're finished here, you can see that everything is pretty much even across the pan. And that's exactly the way you want it. But look, what color is that? Oh my goodness. Now, we're going to take this mixture and Mrs. Becker's going to put it in her oven. And it says that it needs to be at 325 degrees and for 45 minutes to 1 hour. So while it's cooking in my oven, I am going to pause the recording and then I'll come back when it's done and we'll try to figure out what we made. Huh. Anybody have any ideas yet? All right, so let me pause and I'll see you back in another hour.